Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video we're going to be wrapping up the month of May. Very exciting, but also kind of terrifying because how are we at the end of May already? That is wild. But before we get started, let us hydrate because we've got 9 books to talk about today. So if you've yet to hydrate today, please do so. So go drink of water, drink a juice, go get something. Anyway, so like I said, I have 9 books to talk to you about today. I I did end up DNFing one, and I'll talk about that first just to get it out of the way. So y'all know I was fixing to read Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I started reading it, I got 200 pages in, and then I eventually just decided, no, I don't want to read this anymore. This isn't good. I'm bored. I'm not enjoying myself. This main character is driving me up the wall. I want to punch her in the face. The love interest is not as bad as her, but he's right up there as well, and I wouldn't mind knocking him out as well. So I wanted to hit everybody. It was not a fun time. So I actually got rid of it. As you can probably tell, I don't have my physical copy of it anymore. Why did I buy that? Why? Because it was like £7 out of Asda, that's why. Anyway, so I actually ended up giving it to a friend of mine, a friend from work, and hopefully, fingers crossed, she will enjoy it a lot more than I did. So anyway, so we DNF'd that, so we didn't get that was going to be our book review book for the month of May. So sorry I didn't get a video up for that, but anyway, that's out the way. So I'll start with the books that I read on my Kindle. I read 2 books on my Kindle this month. I read Fearless by Lauren Roberts and Cursebound by Sarah El-Arafi. Now, Fearless, y'all know, is the penultimate book in the Powerless trilogy. And I'll say this, as far as the end of a trilogy goes, it went well. It was good. Not great, but it was good. It was a fun time. It was a fun little adventure palate cleanser in between everything else. And anything else that Lauren Roberts comes out with in the future, am I going to read? Yeah, absolutely. I will say my favorite in the Powerless trilogy is definitely probably the first one. I did still enjoy the trilogy as a whole. You know, it was a fun time. I binged, well, the first 2 I binged, and then had to wait for the third one, obviously. But it was fun. It was a fun time. Now, Cursebound by Sarah El-Arafi, that was the sequel to Feybound. And we've got one more book in that trilogy coming out. And listen, it's a book about fairies, or fae, I should say. And you know I don't care that much about fae. I've said numerous times that I don't like fae. But then I realized it's not fae that I dislike. It was the way they were being written. Because it was the same thing all the time. It was the same, with all fantasy romance. Everybody was in their fae era. Everybody was into the fae males with their wingspans and their mountain shaking dongs. And I was done with all of that. So it's not fae that I was mad at. It was the way they were being written. So, but anyway. So Feybound and Cursebound is actually written is a queer story. Actually, there's a sapphic romance in here. There's loads of queer representation overall. I really loved it. I have an entire video on Feybound if you want to go and watch it. I made a playlist of all the videos that I've made talking about popular fantasy romances. So if you want to go and read that or watch that, you're more than welcome to. So Cursebound, I will say, really good, solid sequel. I really love where the plot is going. The characters, for me, especially in this one, I'm not a big fan of. Like, okay, answer me this, right? This trilogy is meant to be, it's meant to be for older readers, right? Because anytime I saw the books in the bookshop, it would be in the adult section, not the YA section. So tell me why these characters read a lot younger than what they actually are, because I think our two main characters, the two sisters, like one is meant to be in her 30s and the other one is like 29, about to turn 30. And I'm like, tell me why, especially the younger sister. Tell me why, especially the younger sister reads like she's 18 years old as opposed to 29. Tell me that, because she she got really annoying a lot of times. I really, really didn't really like her. But anyway, Cursebound, I gave 4 stars, and I think I give Fearless 4 stars as well. So I've talked your ear off about them enough. Anyway, you know the drill by now. I read another novella in this big old book, and I read one called The Wicked Ones, which was really, really good. We kind of started off in the era where the sort of like where the Infernal Devices is set, and after that, and then the one I read there, The Wicked Ones, is I believe set in the 80s. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, 1989. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying my time reading this novella collection. It's giving me my Shadowhunter fix until we get a new one. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying my time reading this, and I gave this novella, I think, 5 stars. Again, I'm having a great time, and I suppose I should put this over there because I'm going to be reading another one. I'm going to get it done, people. Okay, and then I read a comic, and then I read Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation Volume 8. Look at that cover. Taking that cover. Have you ever seen anything so precious in your life? Yeah. Do I even need to talk? Do I even need to say anything? Like, you know the drill by now. Me and this, we go together. Like, there's nothing in, like, this. If you get it, those that get it, get it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm loving being back in this world again. I'm loving being back with these characters again. And, is this my favorite in the volumes of the comics? I'm not sure. Probably. But I'm loving it, and I think I have volumes 9 and 10 out there as well, or maybe just 9. I don't think volume 10 has come out yet, but anyway, love this. 5 stars. Now, sorry, it keeps falling in between my legs. Like, the pile of books keeps falling, and it's like poking me in the leg. It's annoying. Anyway, then we listened to the audiobook for Heavenly Tyrant by Xiran J. Zhao. I've mixed feelings about this. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. What's going on? I've mixed feelings about this. First of all, nothing much really goes down in this, and I I feel like someone was messing with me, because I thought, I don't know why, but I got it into my head that this is only going to be a duology. Like, it was just going to be Iron Widow and then this, and then, but then apparently no, it said to be continued at the end of this, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's on me, I guess. Wow, I can't believe I thought this was going to be a duology. So I thought this was fine, and I guess it makes a lot of sense now if this is going to be the second book, I guess, in a trilogy or whatever. It was fine. In the end, I gave it 3 stars. Our main character, our main girly, again, fine. I mean, I'm guessing the whole point is you're not really meant to like her, because I don't really like her, if I'm being honest. And this guy here, he was fine. I liked him. I liked him actually a lot better than I liked her, if I'm being completely honest with you. And that chapter that was meant to be like, that was meant to be, you know, the scene where he, you know, but if you follow Shiran on TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. But like, I didn't really get what was going to happen. I knew what was about to happen, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. And I just don't really, it kind of frustrates me a little bit. Like, why didn't you just include it in there? Like, what happened? What happened in there that one line got removed? I don't understand. Like, I don't, whatever. But anyway, that that just annoyed me a little bit. I realize I'm being really vague right now, but if you've read this, you know what I'm saying. But all in all, I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was just fine. Not much happened. Not much was going on. But I suppose I get it now if there's going to be another book. But all in all, not my favorite. 3 stars. And then I read A Wish Upon the Stars by T.J. Klune. This is the 4th and final book in the Tales from Verenia series. I had an amazing time rereading this series again. I'd meant to do it for so long because y'all know I read the series for the first time in lockdown, and then I had been meaning to get back to it because I bought physical copies of them, and I was like, I want to go back into this world. I love them so much, and I finally did, and I loved it. It was wonderful. It's like a warm hug. Like, this series is like a warm hug, and it's adorable. So if you're a fan of TJ Klune and you haven't read this series yet, I highly recommend. I'm really looking forward to the day where they traditionally publish this. You might have to edit out some things, maybe change some things. But all in all, I'll be waiting with bated breath for that day. In the end, I give this 5 because it's one of my favorite series ever. And it was a great finale. And then I finally did my reread of Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Wow. Like, when did I read this? Did I read this in lockdown or after it? I can't remember, but it's been maybe like 4 or 5 years since I read it. And obviously with the third book being out now, I wanted to get back into it and tab it and annotate it. And I did. I did tab and annotate. Look at those tabs. Little tab ASMR for you. But yeah, I read this and I loved it. Okay, so this is about our main character, Bree, or Brianna, but she goes by Bree. And she is going to the University of Colorado, right? Just make sure I get it right. Right. Yes, UNC Chapel Hill. And yeah, so she's basically going there. She's not a freshman yet. She's still in high school, but she's going there as like a little sort of program sort of thing, so that they bring in a bunch of high school students so they can experience college life and all that jazz. Do we have stuff like that in the UK? I'm not sure, but whatever. So anyway, she's there and she is not having the best time, because her mother was recently tragically lost her life in a car accident, and the trauma of that, it's been like 3 months or so, the trauma of that is still very, very fresh in her mind, and she's not having the best time. She's not dealing with her emotions very well, and I believe Tracy Deonn sort of wrote this sort of as a way to, she says, in a lot of ways, Bree's story is my story. When my own mother died, I learned that I just become a 3rd consecutive generation of daughters who lost their mothers at a young age. So yeah, she kind of modeled herself after Bree a little bit, is what I'm trying to say. I couldn't find the words there. But yeah, so anyway, she's there and, she's trying to make the most of it. And then, one day she's walking through campus and she sees what looks to be a hellhound, like this sort of demon looking dog. And she's like, what is that? And then this guy shows up and, kills it and gets rid of it. And she's freaking out. She's like, what is happening? What's going on? And he looks at her and he goes, wait, could you see that? And she was like, yeah, I did. What was that? And he was like, oh no. And then it's like, oh no, it's kind of like in City of Bones when Clary sees the demon and it's just like, oh, you have the sight, you're not a mundane and all that. So why am I so itchy today? Why? Like, does my foundation hate me? I don't know. Anyway, so, and then she ends up getting roped into this secret society known as the Legendborn. She has, and she thinks that what happened to her mother and the Legendborn are sort of connected in such a way, because there's a lot about her mother's death that's very confusing for her. And yeah, she's going in there to try and find answers. And yeah, and also if you are a fan of The Legend of King Arthur, you'll love this. Okay, if you love all of that, like Knights of the Round Table and all that stuff, like you'll be into this, and I certainly was. Like, and like it also talks about like the racism and the bigotry and that a lot of students of color face at universities countless times, and you know the misogyny like that this wee girl faces all the time. Like I wanted to like knock everybody's heads together. Like I just oh, it's disgusting the stuff that she faces on a daily basis, and it's absolutely horrible because it's realistic. It happens all the time and it's terrible. So but anyway, I love this. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I adored it wholeheartedly, and I'm so excited to get into Bloodmarked. I have it sitting over there, but I need to finish the book club pick first before I get into it. But all in all, this was a beautiful story. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. And then I have 2 more books left to talk to you about. And Kaz, cover your eyes. I'm going to talk about The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. This is, again, a reread for me because I'm catching up on the trilogy because I haven't read the 3rd one yet, but I couldn't remember a darn thing, so had to reread this, and I'm rereading the 2nd one at the moment in order to get my mind refreshed for the 3rd one. So this is a story about our main girl, Deka, and she grows up in this really oppressive society where women are basically treated like second-class citizens, and they're taught all their lives that their only job is to stay pure until you're married, and your only thing in life is to be a wife and a mother and to stay in the home, and they have to wear masks and veils and everything all the time. And you know, obviously, she's believed that all of this is great and wonderful, and one day she'll get to wear a mask and a veil, and then she'll find a husband and it'll be wonderful. And they have to go through this ceremony to find out, to make absolutely sure that they are pure. It's basically this blood-letting ceremony where they draw blood, and if the blood runs red, then you're all good, you're pure, you can stay in society. But her blood runs gold, and that in the eyes of her society is wrong. She gets branded a demon, and she gets ostracized from her society, and then she ends up they imprison her, and this woman ends up showing up and basically says to her, you're going to come with me, and I'm going to train you up to be a soldier, and you're going to be a part of a special fighting force for the emperor and all this and what. And she's like, okay. So, but it's not just her, it's a whole bunch of other girls as well. And she ends up going to this place and training up, and she bonds with all the other girls, and they learn how to fight. And, it's just, and like there is a lot of things to be aware of in this. So I would be looking up trigger warnings before you get into this. It says right here, because the authors put a little trigger warning. The Gilded Ones include scenes of violence, including some graphic violence, which some readers may find distressing. And there's nothing on page, but there's a mention that some of the girls that were taken away from their homes on the way there were violated as they were making their way to where they need to go to train to fight. So I just thought I would mention that as well, because I'd forgotten about that. So you don't see anything, you don't hear anything. It's just mentioned that was what happened to them as they made their way there. So I'm just letting you know. But all in all, I had a great time reading this. I say all in all a lot. I should really stop doing that. This was great. I think in the end I gave it maybe 4.5, or maybe I gave it a full 5. I can't remember. It's been a week or two since I read this, but I loved it. And then the very last book, Dragon Rising by Katie and Kevin Zhang. This is the fourth book in the Dragon Mountain or Dragon Realm series. This is a middle grade series that I've owned for a while, and I've been making my way through it, and I have the 5th book up there all ready to go. I've got the penultimate book all ready to go, and I'm very much looking forward to it because this has been so much fun. Like, I love dragons, I love fun adventure type stories, and yeah, this is actually the first middle grade series in a while that I've read where I'm like, since Frostheart, where I've been like, yes, 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 yes. This is basically about Billy Chan, and his parents send him to a summer camp in China with a bunch of these all other kids from all over the world. And they discover this mysterious mountain by the camp, and they go exploring one day, and they find out that there are dragons living inside the mountain, and the dragons are like, listen, we need your help, our realm's in danger. And they end up bonding with the dragons and saving the world, and it's great, it's wonderful. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in the month of May. And I'm thoroughly proud of myself because even though I did DNF 1 and it was a bit of a disappointing start, I did manage to do all this year. This was the damage done. This was the damage done in May. And you know what? I'm really happy. Like, I really wanted to finish Heavenly Tyrant so bad because I felt like that had been on my TBR for years. Well, it had, really. And, you know, doing my reread of Legendborn, my reread of the Gilded Ones, and yeah, just things were accomplished in the month of May, and I'm so, so happy. I completed series, I've started new ones that I'm into. Do you know what? It was good. I feel very productive. Pat on the back for me. So yes, let me know how you did in May. Let me know how your reading went this month. How many books did you read? Did you discover any new favorites? Did you end up DNFing anything? Let me know everything in the comments. In the description, you'll find all of my socials, my Blue Sky, my Instagram, my TikTok, and Threads. I'm on Threads now. So if you want to follow me on any of those, they're all down there. You can subscribe to the channel if you wish, ring the wee bell, leave a like so the algorithm knows that you like me. And I will see you guys next week, or yeah, on Tuesday for another video. I love y'all. Bye.